Hey, I'm Sylvia Moonbeam, and I have in this little bag one of the coolest things I think I've been able to show off on this channel. It is one of the original Burger King toys. I was going to say Happy Meal, but obviously it's not a Happy Meal, that's McDonald's. For those of you who aren't aware, back in, I think it was 2000 or maybe 1999. I think it was 1999. For Pokemon the first movie, which of course was in theaters, Burger King had a promotion of 57 Pokemon toys that came out, and unfortunately they had to do a big recall, and this is probably what they're most famous for, was that there were kids who would put the halves of the Pokeball, because all the toys came in a little Pokeball, put them in their mouths and they would choke on them. There was a couple kids, I guess, who suffocated, and so you could exchange the Pokeball, just the shell, at any participating Burger King to get a free, I think it was either a large fry or a small fry, doesn't really matter. I kept all mine because I promised my parents I wouldn't put my mouth in it, like an idiot. Anyway, this is one I think I actually got to play with, because I had a few of these as a kid. I had the water squirting ones and the tops and the Gengar with the light up eyes. This is one I don't think I ever got a chance to formally play with, because as soon as I opened it up, my dad basically confiscated it, and I was really sad because I wanted my toy. But I think my dad was under the impression this one would be a collector's item, and maybe it is, because this is not just the normal Pokemon toy. This is the Mew. You'll notice it still has partial packaging. We'll get to this in a second, because this one didn't have the normal ball. I think the reason he opened it up was because he wanted to see if it had the Pokeball to get the fry. You can see, oh, come on, work with me here. You can see it's got advertisement for the Burger King Kids Club, which apparently was a club for kids ages 4 to 10. But yeah, Mew is one of the light up figures. I never had the Charmander or the Raichu or the Mewtwo, but I did have the Gengar. And my dad held on to this Mew, I guess, for me. But here's all the Generation 1, aka all the Kanto figures they had. So yeah, I had, let me see here. I had Coughing, who was a top. Bulbasaur was one of those press on a button and it launches out figures. I had Nidoqueen, who was a keychain. Graveler was a top. Poliwag was one of the little squirter things, as was Poliwrath, who I also had. Gengar had the light up eyes. I think I had Vileplume. That was a Squirter. That was a Squirter. That was a Squirter. I had all of them. That was one of the launcher. That was a keychain. I had that one. That was a Squirter. I had a lot of the Squirters. All the water types were basically the water Squirter ones. I think that's all the ones I had. I know Butterfree was a plush. I know Oddish was a plush. I didn't have those though. Tangela was a top. Ditto was a top. I had the Magnemite, which was also a top. I think Togepi was a plush. Yeah, that was all the ones they had. I didn't have all of them. Obviously, I only had 10 or so, and half of them were the Squirter ones. But yeah, this is my first time, I think, actually opening this. I'm kind of curious to see, because it has a larger ball. I think my dad put this one aside because he recognized that it wasn't the normal ball. And so I think he knew this one was special. This is a keychain, obviously, and the ball, instead of being red and white, is all pink, transparent pink, to be Mew's barrier bubble. And to my knowledge, this is my very first time holding this figure. So this is, if I've ever touched this figure prior, I do not remember it. But yeah, Mew's got a little board for the feet, which is kind of cool, and surprisingly, it's a transparent purple plastic. Mew's proportions feel a little weird because they're very clearly intended to be kind of the Gen 1 Mew. Does the tail, there we go, the tail does articulate. And it's got a little switch. Let's see if these batteries actually work still. No. Okay, I flipped the switch. And very clearly this is intended as the, like, on position. Come on, focus. Sorry, my camera's not focusing properly. Come on. But, yeah, it doesn't seem that it wants to work. So the battery is probably, unfortunately, long since dead. And there's no screws that I can see that I could use potentially to try to replace it. But this was really cool. This is kind of a cool little thing that I wanted to show off. My parents just moved out of their home, the home they had or lived in for over 3 decades, which was my childhood home. And so they left a ton of stuff. And while helping my sister, because my sister is moving into that home, while helping my sister get rid of some of the crap they left behind, I found this. And yeah, it's a cool little piece of my childhood that I never got to fully, I guess, enjoy until now. Like 26, 27-ish years later. So thanks for watching. I've been Sylvia Moonbeam. And if any of you have any idea what this is worth, please let me know. I'm actually really curious because maybe it's worth something and maybe I will try to sell it. Potentially. I don't know. Honestly, this bag is more of a choking hazard than the Mew. I don't know. But yeah, thank you again for watching and I'll see you next time. Bye.